My name is John Mackenzie. I'm part of the Innovation and Technology team at Highlands and Islands Enterprise. I have three main roles. One is to support businesses with innovation, research and development projects. Two is I project manage a number of things we put funding into, which includes BEST. I also have two areas that I work closely with. One of them, for you lucky people, is Shetland. The other is Lochaber and Wester Ross. So that's me. So even though it's called HIE Innovation Programme, I'm sort of winding this out to give you a bit of context around HIE's role in housing, construction, moving forward. I'll start off by why innovate in construction, housing development and supply. So we're looking in terms of innovation will help drive the productivity gap, improving process and developing products and services in an industry struggling with recruitment, supply chain issues and costs, but at the same time currently dealing with increases in market demand, no more than Shetland. It's a sort of perfect storm. The fact is that there's a lot of big infrastructure projects going. A lot of construction companies are really busy, but they're actually struggling to recruit staff. Supply chain issues and costs are going up. So that's an area that and obviously what Stephen and the rest have talked about today is, moving forward, innovation can help with that. It's not the only solution. We are working closely with Shetland Council, the housing associations, Skills Development Scotland, Construction Industry Training Board. We've probably had more conversations in the last year than we probably had in the previous 5, recognising the challenges the industry face, but also the opportunities. Linked to that is obviously the underlying challenge of achieving net zero. Lack of housing in rural areas is a real barrier to economic growth. We, as an economic development agency, recognise that. It's great that if we can encourage growth in companies to drive employment opportunities, whether that's in Shetland, whether that's in Mull, whether that's in the Western Isles, but if there's no houses or no affordable houses for people to live in, then actually I'm not saying we're wasting our time, but it makes it even harder. So we absolutely recognise the importance of housing and construction to the sector. We are not a skills agency either, so there's other agencies that do that, but we are keen to showcase the industry in terms of some of the high levels of skills that we've seen in Shetland this week, but across the region, and some of the actual fantastic technologies and developments that's happened in the sector probably over the last 10 years. So we're obviously keen to evangelise that as well. What's our role? Well, our Chief Executive, Stuart Black, started as Chief Executive at the start of the year, and his background, he was Planning Director at Highland Council, and his sort of mantra to us within HIE was to be a good collaborative partner, and he put housing and construction much more on our agenda than probably has been the previous 15 years that I've been in HIE. Previously, we would probably support the construction sector in terms of research and innovation. We've done quite a lot of work with companies that is doing off-site construction or utilising modern methods of construction. Other than that, we were sometimes quite a good customer to the sector, because we built things and etc. So that was really our main role. Obviously, funding wasn't an element that we were doing a lot of. We weren't buying lorries and diggers, etc. We still wouldn't do that, by the way, even though if you ask. So I think what we recognise as well is, though, what's our role in housing, and we've now got an internal sort of housing forum, so that each area, each department in HIE is sharing what we are doing in terms of supporting that. So a lot of it's sharing best practice, project activity and encouraging collaboration. My colleagues in the communities team work right across with different geographies, and we recognise that we work closely with many development trusts, community organisations, and we try to help them deliver a range of interventions to strengthen the sustainability of their communities. So, Chris, you mentioned the project in Gia. There's also been a number of projects, the Western Isles, Argyll, moving forward, where we've not got a remit in terms of a legal remit in terms of housing. We're not going to see us building houses, I know Katrina put a new kitchen in last year, but I don't think HIE paid for that. But we sort of did retrospectively. So we do have a range of support that enables some projects to be taken forward, including the provision of business units, tourism infrastructure, and net zero assets. So what support? So we can put support for high investment in construction business for expansion can be challenging, but because there's obviously issues of displacement. But however, things like research and development, investing in new technologies is something that we can look at through things like our Green Jobs Fund, through some of our research and development grants, through some of our other funding mechanisms. So therefore, yeah, so I mean, these are some of the elements I talked about there in terms of the green opportunities, net zero construction, etc. And they would be considered on a case-by-case basis. So please speak to me or any of my HIE colleagues in the local area team. HIE's wider place-based products and services may be available to business and construction sector and support productivity, growth and innovation. We've got leadership training, we've got specialist advice. We just launching our new round of innovation support, so that's got 3 elements to it. So you've got dedicated support of a senior innovation manager for each HIE area team. You lucky people, that's me in the Shetland area. We do provide specialist advice, so if you've got a knowledge gap within your organisation, we can bring in specialist support out with all the other partners working, such as BEST and other academic. We can help with strategic development. We can do innovation reviews, and we can also do intellectual property support if you've actually developed a fantastic new product or technology that you'd like to help with, that you'd like to protect. We've put in place now knowledge exchange, so that's learning journeys, so we can support companies to go to Innovation Factory in Blantyre. We're going to do more workshops, self-help tools, and we're going to do a new product development accelerator. We've also got a research and development grant, as well as the Green Jobs Fund. I keep mentioning that as well. So that gives between 25 and 100k to projects, and we also support with external funding applications. Some examples of HIE support, we put to get Barrow West over in the Western Isles, modular housing facility that we put some support into. Company in Dingwall, wood blocks that do these fancy blocks for wood, for outside, for being raised beds, etc. That was an imaging and visioning system in terms of their production process. Supply chain and manufacturing support, so we helped support a company get a robot for a sawmill, that was in Nairn. And we've done a project with Rustwood and timber cladding R&D project, looking at different elements of terms of timber cladding. So there's some of the examples of the support that we can give in conjunction with other support mechanisms that's been talked about today. So that's pretty much it in terms of, I can talk for ages, but I'm not going to because I'm conscious you've listened a long time. So that's pretty much it for me. Here's my details. They will be available, but I said you can speak to any of the HIE team. We also work really closely with Business Gateway and obviously Skills Development Scotland, CITB when it comes to construction, and UHI, who do some really great things as well. So that's me.